Alright guys, so it's the start of year 4 of Rainbow Six Siege, and the new operators, Gridlock and Mozzie, are now out officially for everyone. And I just want to make a quick, well not so quick, video on ranking the attackers, and then later, the next video, will be a ranking of the defenders from the worst to best. This is all my opinion, obviously. You know, I don't have the freaking Pro League stats for all the Pro League players think. This is just my opinion. You know, you might think, you know, Cav or Dogaby are the best people in the game. I might think they're the worst. It's my opinion. It's what I think. So here we go. So I broke this down in an Excel spreadsheet, which I'll show at probably the end of the video after I do all of the rankings, or I might link it in the description if I can figure that out. But I ranked them by good, and then neutral, and then bad. And then bold, I put the ones that I've mained. So that's just an explanation for at the end of the video, whenever you guys see the Excel spreadsheet, if I decide to throw it up there. But let's get started on the actual ranking, and we're going to start with attackers on this video. Like I said, we're going to go from worst to best. So here we go. Alright guys, so year 4 right now, I think Eing is the worst attacker in the game. And again, I just want to repeat that these aren't necessarily bad. You know, you might be a diamond and you main Eing, but from my point of view, I'm not a big fan of Eing, and I mained Eing whenever she came out. But my problems with her are her gun. It doesn't matter if you're using the Hollow, the ACOG. To me, I cannot get control of that gun. And I can control some pretty difficult guns in this game, but I just can't handle this gun. I don't know what my problem with this gun is. And then her gadget, her actual ability is great. I think it's really good ability. But the problem is, especially if playing with friends, is you hurt your team too much. You mess up your teammates and you get into their way, or they don't understand how your ability works and they end up running into it and then blaming you. And it's not, you're too liable to fuck something up as Eing, and I'd rather pick a different operator that I know I'm good with the gun, and I know the gadget's going to be helping my team 100% of the time. So next on the list we have Gridlock, and I don't want to say she's bad, because her gun, if you come down and look at her, not the M249, using that looks rough to use, but the F90 actually looks like a good gun. But my problem is her gadget over here, track stingers, and the only problem with this is it's a good idea, but the point of it is kind of to stop roamers. Not that that's a bad, you know, idea, a bad mission for a gadget, but there's a lot of gadgets that just do that way better. There's a lot of gadgets that are anti-roamer, that are less situational, that are more useful to the whole team, and I just think there's other operators that do her ability way better. Next up on my list is Nomad, and while I think Nomad's, the RAX and her AK are pretty solid, and her pistol's pretty solid as well, my problem with her is her air jab, her gadget of course. It's not cool, it's a really flashy gadget. It's really like, guys, look at this is cool. You know, if you get a kill cam where you throw somebody through a wall and kill them, that looks cool. But again, it's so situational. Like, I mained her for the first week, only played her for a week when she came out, and I put down all of the air jabs every single life, and I think I've only had like 2 air jabs go off as me playing as her, unless I directly shot it at somebody. Like pre-placing it, I think I've only had 2 go off. It just seems so rare for you using them, and even on defense, I don't think I've ever, other than once maybe, ran into an air jab. So I just think the gadget is not great. And this is my last one in the, I guess, bad, quote-unquote, for me anyways, category. It's Capitao. I'm sure you all know what Capitao does. He's been in the game for a hot minute now. He's got his crossbow launcher, shoots smoke and fire, and for me, my problem with him isn't his gadget. I think his fire can help you get people out of corners, and the smoke is okay. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's okay for cover. But my problem with him is his gun. I don't touch LMGs in this game, so that's just out of the question. But even his assault rifle, I feel like has so much recoil compared to some of the other guns. It's just unwieldy to use, and I have a really hard time hitting people with his assault rifle. So that's one of the main reasons I put him solo on the list. Alright, so that last section of operators was like the I'm not gonna pick these guys, I'm just gonna go with the recruit. Like I'm not gonna pick these guys. The next section is these are kind of like the more situational, like, you know, for IQ for example, since you can obviously see that my next one's IQ. If they're running a pulse, you're gonna choose an IQ. But I wouldn't really pick her for any other reason other than that. But so IQ's next on my list, and I think she's probably, if I would have done these videos every single season, this is probably where she would have been the entire time. Her AUG, great. Her gun is fantastic. Her gun is so good. But her ability, and especially before they buffed pistols to make them even usable, because back in the day pistols were rough. But now that pistols are a lot more usable, it's she's more valuable now than she used to be, but still her gadget, I think, other than like seeing cap cans, which you don't really need her for, pulse is good, I guess. You can find the echo drone, so it's kind of, you know, stuff where you have to know who they have in order for her to be useful. Blitz is next up on this list, and well, Blitz, his ability seems great. My problem with him, the reason he's so low, is I've only played him a handful of times, but all of my friends have played him, and I've played against him, obviously. And it seems like his shield, his flash on his shield, it's very variable. It's very, like, you don't really know if it's going to work this time or not. You press the button, and sometimes they just don't get flashed. If they're in range, it just doesn't work sometimes. That's one of my main problems with him. Again, he only has a pistol, and I mean, pistols have been fixed in the past year, so that is significantly better now. His shield's easy to get around and kill him if you have more than one person, even as one person. If they're not a skilled blitz, it's pretty easy to get around him, hit him in the shoulder, and kill him. So those reasons combined with just how slow he is, I mean, he has his rush now, which makes him a little bit better, but just how slow he is kind of puts him lower on this list. Next up is Glaz, and Glaz has been through some major changes from just everything. The thermal sight, the recoil, the damage, the smoke grenades, just everything's changed with him over the years. And right now, I wouldn't say he's balanced, I think he still needs to be stronger. And a bigger problem that I'm seeing recently is a lot of the new maps, like the one with Maestro and Alibi, and then this new one, the Australian one. A lot of the maps are really tight, really closed corridor, hallway type maps. And I'm not talking hallway like Yacht, where it just has a long viewpoint. I'm talking like just twists and turns, really tight, to where a rifle like Glaz's isn't gonna be your first pick, the first thing you want to have when someone comes sprinting around a corner full speed. So I think between the new maps that have been coming out recently, since they've been smaller and tighter together, and the fact that just some nerfs that he's had, and just really, he's only really useful on a handful of maps, and I think that's what kind of brings him down lower on the list. Alright, so Stogies next, and again, I think she's necessarily a bad operator, especially, let's see if they have it on here, I guess they only have it on the newer operators, but her guns, her DMR rifle, her semi-automatic rifle, is one of the better ones in the game. It has a pretty high rate of fire for a semi-automatic rifle, and does some good damage. It's just her gadget is more to annoy the defenders, in my opinion. That's like, if you know, you're throwing and you're just pissed off, you run a Lion, a Dogabee, a Jackal, you run all of those operators that don't let him move, just because it's annoying to have the phone ringing. I find that with all of the other kind of ambient sounds, along with the gunshots and explosions, the ringing is really hard to hear sometimes, unless they're like right next to you. So it's not even useful 100% of the time, and that's kind of why I put her lower, because while her guns are pretty good, her gadget doesn't really bring her up that high, and that's what I look at in an operator is, sure, your guns might be good, but is your gadget something that's going to help out my team? So next we got Lion, and oh man, if this was a week after he came out, he literally would have been top 5 for sure, no doubt about it. But one, they took away one of his scans, so he's now down to 2. That's not my problem with him. My problem with him is previously, before his nerf, if you got marked by his scan, and then it doesn't matter if you stop moving. Say he activated his scan, you got marked. If you stop moving, you were continuously marked until that scan was over. Now, how it works, as long as you stop moving, even if you got scanned initially, you're good. So you have to be pretty stupid to just continue running while the lion is activated. It's super situational now. Before it was kind of, everyone's going to be staying in place, but someone can move for a split second. You could totally just miss it since it deactivates now. And I think while his Vector is really good, it's a strong gun, and he has the 417, which is also a strong gun, I don't think that his gadget really holds up to where it used to be anymore. And speaking of gadgets that don't hold up to where they used to be, next we have Blackbeard. Just like the lion situation, this would have been, even after his first nerf, I probably would have put him super high up on the list. But we're getting about to the halfway. This is probably about the halfway point now through the list. And I put Blackbeard here because while his auto rifle's pretty good, I'm more of a DMR kind of guy. I like his gun, the SR-25, like that gun a lot. That is my go-to gun for Blackbeard. But his shield, oh man, it takes so little to break this thing. Back in the day, I don't know how long you guys been around, but back in the day, this shit would eat like a whole mag. Like, you could peek a window. When I play Blackbeard now, I'm just playing a guy with a gun. I'm not even like playing him like I have a shield, because that shit breaks so easily. If it's really shitty SMG, maybe 3 shots, but most guns break it in 1 or 2 shots. And while it does save your life sometimes, don't get me wrong, those 1 or 2 shots will save you, but there's a lot of times where it won't save you. So next, I know I'm gonna get shit for this, but next is Fuse. And the thing with Fuse is, 1, okay, don't use his ballistic shield if you're playing Fuse. That's just fucking stupid, because his pistol, terrible. I hate the Russian pistol, but anyway, that's not the point. Don't use this LMG. I'm not a fan of LMGs. The AK-12, it is such a good gun. But one of my main problems with Fuse and all of the Russian operators, that's not a huge problem, but his sights, I would say I'm probably 50% more accurate with the regular ACOG than I am with the Russian ACOG. I don't know why, I'm just really bad with this sight. I don't know what my problem is. That, and it's just a really, really personal thing, but he's so damn slow. Like, for a 3 armor, and I play 3 armors, like, I don't feel Mira is slow, but Fuse is so goddamn slow. So that's my other problem with him. And then his gadget's good. If you watch Spartan Vision from Saturday, got a couple kills with it, which really surprised me. I didn't think I was gonna get any kills with that. I didn't think people still died to that. But it's just a team kill possibility, especially with randoms, right? Not if you're playing them or like one of your friends is playing them, but just when you get in the game and you have a random Fuse on your team, just the possibility that's always there of they might not team kill you, but there's a pretty good chance they're gonna Fuse really fucking close to you and it's gonna scare the shit out of you. You're gonna have to run away. So just that combined with his speed and his sight really brings him lower into the okay part of my list, not the good or great operators. So Montaigne is the last one I put in my okay category, and I put him here. I'm no good as Montaigne. I am an ass Montaigne. But if you find somebody who's good with Montaigne, who is okay with just being the support, being the shield, like if you get a Montaigne and a Blackbeard, that's a pretty powerful duo. Just getting a player who is capable of blocking the enemy from hitting you, who's capable from blocking routes and stuff, and if they're pretty good with a pistol, that helps too. But just a good Montaigne is very, very strong. But the reason he's so low is because there's not a lot of them out there. I don't really see a good Montaigne ever. You know, it's hard to find one that's going to defend you and not be wobbling around right in front of you so you headshot him on accident, or just be rushing as Montaigne or just dicking around. It's hard to find a good Montaigne, but when you do, they're really useful teammates. So this is my good section of the list. These are the operators that at the very top, at the very first couple of places, those are my go-to operators. These towards the bottom of the good category are like, if someone took my go-tos, these are who I would play. These are operators who I would suggest you buy, right? If you have the renown, especially with the reduction of the price of operators, these are the operators I would suggest you buy before buying anybody else, unless one of the other ones just really sounds like your playstyle. So first on the good list we have Sophia, and Sophia's gun is, they don't have it here of course, because she's one of the, not older ones, but she's not new. Her gun's pretty good. It's an AK variant, I believe. It has the Russian sight though, so that's kind of rough. But it has a lot of recoil, but it's manageable. It's not one of those unmanageable recoil guns. It kicks hard. When it hits, you know you're gonna hit. Her pistol has a sight on it, which is actually very useful. It's more useful than you think it is. And then her gadget itself, kind of like a mini Ashe. You have the breaching charges, which don't do the damage. I mean, you can try to get kills with them, but good luck with that. It's more for breaching walls. That's really useful, along with the stun. Breaching is really useful. It's not a specifically needable operator that you need every single run. You know, you could have picked Ashe or any other breaching operator, but she's useful, and her gadget isn't going to let you down when you use it. Finca is one that I think is really good, that doesn't get used enough, and when she gets used, her gadget doesn't get used correctly. I don't know what it is, but people that have like the passive abilities that you can activate without needing to be near the building, they like to spam their gadget as soon as you spawn. So you see a lot of Fincas give you the health boost as soon as you spawn. I don't even get to the building by the time this shit wears off. I don't know why people choose to use it so early. But her primary assault rifle is a really strong gun. Has a pretty good rate of fire for what it is. And her ability, it's just the health boost. It can pick up down teammates, the less recoil. Just, it really helps with if you have teammates who are weaker in the firefight part of the game and the shooting part of the game. It really helps with that. And then it just helps with pushing, can help with getting up a down teammate. Just a really versatile ability that I think people need to use better. Alright, so starting with Sledge, these are the top 10 operators of my choice for attack. So we got Sledge, obviously. If you know what Sledge does. L8, solid gun. The shotgun, the SAS shotgun, is my favorite shotgun in the game. Well, I'm not going to run a shotgun on offense, on attack. I'm going to run the L8. But if you like a shotgun, it's a shotgun to use. The British, I would choose the pistol over the Mac 11, honestly. I'm not a little tiny machine pistol fan. I'm more of a pistol guy, but that's up to you. Frags are always useful. Not a lot of people have frags anymore. His gadget, super simple. Sledgehammer, break through walls, break through floors. It's so simple to use, but it's so useful because it can do so many different things and open so many different lines of sight. And it's just fast, it's quiet. Well, I mean, until you swing, but there's no like deployment sound. It's just a good gadget all around, and this gun's he's good op all around. I would definitely pick him, and he's one of the base operators, so it's not like he's gonna cost you any renown anyways. Alright, so this will be number 9, and actually I had a really hard time between Sledge and Buck because their abilities are very similar, and Buck's isn't always going to be persistent. You're not always going to make that perfect size hole that you want. Sometimes it fails, so you think I'd put Sledge higher. But Buck's guns, man. Buck's DMR is so good. People say it has a lot of recoil, but it's just, his DMR is great. And if you have like Finca, if you have bad aim, you can use his master key, his skeleton key, whatever they call it in this game, to kill enemies at close range, but it's mainly for breaching. And just his guns, I think what really puts him above Sledge is it's just between his assault rifle and his DMR, both are super strong guns to pick from. Next we got Twitch, and I picked Twitch mainly just because of FAMAS. Her rifle right here is great, probably rivaling, other than IQ's AUG, I think those are probably the 2 best guns in the game. Just shoot, it's a shoot straight gun, it's a great gun. The 417 is also a great rifle. It's the rifle that Lion has as well, we talked about earlier. The shotgun though, the French shotgun is my least favorite shotgun in the game, so I wouldn't run that. Her pistols, I don't even think I've used her revolver before, but I would run with the P9. Claymores, big fan of Claymores, but you gotta have breaching charges as well, so that's up to you guys. But her gun, her FAMAS, and her gadget is really where I think Twitch shines on the list. Is her ability not only to take, shock people, obviously, but take out bandits, open mirrors now. She can just do so many things to take out defender gadgets that just really help out and make everyone else's job a whole lot easier. Next we got Jackal, and I think Jackal is an interesting one. They don't have his guns on the site, of course, but his rifle is, while it's strong, his SMG, he has an SMG as well, and he has a shotgun, all for primary. I wouldn't run the shotgun, obviously, but the SMG, I think, would probably be my pick, because yes, it has less damage than the rifle, but both the rifle and the SMG have the same rate of fire, while the SMG has a 50 round drum mag. And that 50 round drum mag, you can just shred multiple enemies at once. Or, you know, if you get in a complicated gunfight. And with Jackal, with his abilities to track down roamers, mostly is what you're going to be doing as Jackal, that's really what you're going to be running into, is firefights against Ella and Cav, these super fast, super agile operators that you're going to need a big mag for. So I think that's really the way to go with Jackal, and why his ability is great is just for taking out those roamers. If you can get Jackal and find the Cav early and take her out, that's just one less roamer to worry about, and I think that's a big part of the game, especially now, is taking out the roamers. Alright, so next is Fauna, and if you would have asked me about Fauna when she first came out, I would have told you a totally different story. Her gun, while I don't think it's great or anything, they have changed it significantly to where I can actually hit shit now with her gun. I had such a big problem with her gun when she first released. That's literally the only reason I didn't like her. But now I don't have a problem with her assault rifle, and I think it's a great choice. As far as secondaries go, I would definitely run the pistol on Habana. I wouldn't mess with anything else. Her gadget it's good, but it's my least favorite of the hard breaching tools. It's not always reliable for, like, you know, sometimes you'll try to breach and it'll give you a little bit of wall that just didn't blow up for some reason, and now you can't get through. Or, you know, you can just shoot them. They're pretty easy to shoot off from the outside. And just, you know, just multiple problems with the gadget itself is why I put her lower on the hard breachers. So next on my list is Thatcher. This is top 4 now. Thatcher has just always been solid. His EMP grenade can take out most of the things in the game. It's going to help all your hard breachers get in the room. It's just a great gadget. And then his guns. So most people run the L8 on Thatcher. And that's not a bad gun. I don't have a problem with it, but I really think that his AR, his assault rifle, is really underrated. A lot of people don't really run that. They run the L8 over it. I just think it's a better gun, in my opinion. What else? His shotgun, again, he has the British shotgun. That's my favorite shotgun in the game, so if you are going to run a shotgun, he'd be one of the operators you want to run a shotgun on. And then he has a good pistol as well. Alright, so here we go, top 3. We got Ashe at number 3. And this is Ashe post removal of ACOG. I wasn't really an Ashe fan. I didn't really play her that much. One, because everybody played Ashe. Everybody got to Ashe first, and I'd rather play somebody else. I don't want to take someone else's operator that they're probably better than me as. And now that Ashe has had her ACOG taken away, nobody picks Ashe. So I'm like, I guess I'll try Ashe. And I run Ashe with the irons. I don't even run a sight on her R4C. I don't run a sight on this gun. I just run the iron sight. She's pretty good. Her gun's good most of the time. Her pistol, not the 5.7, don't recommend that. The 45, great pistol. Same pistol on Thermite. Love that pistol. Her breaching charges, you could maybe get away with the stun grenade because of her gadget. It's just good for breaching, but I run the breaching charges for extra breaching. But just her gadget's gonna get you in and out of places so fast. It's gonna open new holes where enemies aren't expecting you to come from. She's fast as fuck, got a smaller hitbox. She's just a good operator all around, and now she's easier to get since less people were picking her. And I don't think her loss of the ACOG sight, while it does, you know, bring down your range a little bit, I think she's still a very viable operator with that R4C. Or you could run the G36C and still have the ACOG. Next on the list, I put Maverick. I know some of you might disagree with me on this part of Maverick, but his AR-15 right here, the one that's chambered in the 50 caliber, this gun is solid. And you can put a hole in the wall, and the non-reinforced walls, obviously. Just the regular walls, you can put a hole in these walls so damn fast. I think it's 3 shots, you put a hole in the wall with that gun. This M4 is a great gun too, not a bad option. Secondary gun, well, I haven't used it all that much. It's a pretty strong pistol. It's definitely not one of the pistols. It's not a throwaway gun. It's a good pistol. Definitely run Claymore on him because you're gonna be peeking angles. Don't want to get flanked. Definitely run the Claymore. And his gadget you've seen play over here a couple times on the left. This is just some of the implications of it. Are these peek holes? I wouldn't make that big of a peek hole because it's pretty easy to see through that. You just make a little tiny one. but that's something you can do with them, and then you can actually cut a hole big enough to go through. They don't have to be square holes like everybody else. They can be circular holes, whatever shape you want, whatever level on the wall you want. And he got a patch, not a patch, but in an update recently, I guess. His gadget works a lot better. It's a lot easier to get through the holes that you're making. So before I was having to use all 3 cartridges to get through a wall. Now I can make a circular hole in the wall and a cartridge in a half and still have some left over. So I just think he's a really great op. He has great guns, his gadget is great, and there's only one operator in the game that I think tops Maverick. If you've been playing this game for a while, you knew Thermite was next. I mean, just from, elimination, you knew Thermite was next. And I might be a little biased on Thermite, I just want to say that first. He was the first operator I unlocked, was Thermite and Capcan for the events. But he was the very first operator I unlocked, and I have upwards of 80 hours on Thermite as an operator. So I just want to throw that out there. I have so much time on Thermite, but that's because I think he's such a great operator. Everyone gives him so much shit for his primary gun. I don't understand why. He's got an ACOG. It does not have a lot of recoil. It has fucking great damage. It has, I think it's 50 something damage. For an assault rifle, that's pretty high. It's 45 pistol, great. I think you can 3-shot an enemy to the chest, maybe 4. Great. Claymore, gotta run the Claymore, you're a breacher. You can maybe run the stuns, not a fan of the stun grenades. His gadget itself, the reason I put him up here, other than his guns, above Fauna and Maverick, is, the problem with Maverick is with your peak holes, you can get shot through them pretty easily. Habana, if you don't have at least 2, sometimes 3 of the pellets, you ain't getting through the wall. But with Thermite, his gadget is so reliable. As long as you don't get bandit tricked or muted, you're getting right through that wall, you're cutting a good sized hole in the wall. It's great. His thing is always reliable. Now he doesn't have frags like he used to, doesn't have breaching charges like he used to, but he's still a great operator, and I would definitely always pick a Thermite. You need a hard breacher no matter what anyways, so you might as well pick a Thermite every single time. I would definitely try Thermite out if you haven't already. Alright guys, so that is all of the attackers in the game year 4 season 1. I will probably not be doing this every season. I will probably just make one at like the end of this year maybe, or maybe I'll do a video on just the new operators each season. Haven't decided on that yet. But I will pull up my Excel spreadsheet that I used for this video for you guys right now, and you can look at it, but don't ignore kind of the notes that I made on this. So here is, on the right here, I started with all of the names and kind of just threw them in order. Didn't really, just did good, neutral, bad. And then over here is where I ordered them, the actual order. And these notes you can just ignore. I kind of thought I would need notes, but after 1,000 hours on the game, you don't really need notes for the operators. You kind of know what you're gonna say. The bold ones, are, like I said at the beginning, are the ones that I have mained. The other ones, I mean, you could bold some of these. I've played them, but I haven't mained them, so I just didn't wanted to show you the ones that I had a lot of information, a lot of playtime for. But that's it for this video. I'm going to do a video on the defenders, ranking all of the defenders, including Mozzie will be the next video that I release, unless something major happens and something else that needs to go out. But that's my next plan, is to make a defenders video right after this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you disagree with anything, please let me know in the comments. Don't shit on me. See you guys next time.